Guys, so I have to do a little storytelling with this video. So we're gonna start off. It was Saturday night. I had come back from a trip, or a drive along Lake Havasu, and I went and partied with Eric again. It was a blast, and it was really a fun time because I got a lot more interaction with him. I will say I think I've met a couple other YouTubers, well, Robert, of course, but Eric is very interactive with his fans. He'll actually hang out with you and talk with you and laugh, make jokes back and forth and things like that. He was so awesome to me. So anybody talks bad about him, we can go. Anyways, there's a lot of comments under his videos that are terrible. So that night, I was able to stay the night this time. Last time I couldn't, which I kind of got that mixed up because this night was actually the night I met the kitties, his cats. If you remember on the other videos, I know it's not a big deal to other people to meet cats. And normally it wouldn't have been, but I've been watching them for so long and I really wanted to meet the main cat. I can't remember, Opie. So it was a big deal for me. So I actually met them Saturday night, not the first trip when I met Eric. Because I had to leave and come back. I couldn't stay there that whole time until Aide came again in February. So, came back in February. This is that trip. So that night I went and partied with them, woke up the next day, and the next little video will explain what happened that day. I'm going to have to do it in parts, just the way Canva works. Four minutes left, Randy. Up and left really early. It was still practically dark out, but I could see enough to leave. Now, I did want to mention, I forgot to tell you guys, when I came the first trip, when I met Eric, that night I had actually left after the party, and he had tried to give me directions, how to get out, because, the spot is pretty deep in. You have to drive pretty far and make a few different ways to get there, and different ditches and roads you can take, and it's very confusing. So me leaving after the party was, I really thought I'd be able to find my way out, but I didn't at first. And then I saw somebody coming from the main road, and so I asked them, when I finally got them to pull over, I had to follow them a little bit, hey, do you think you guys could lead me back out onto the road, because I'm lost? And they did. So you'll see a little photo of that. And then Sunday, I couldn't go get my van worked on yet. I had to wait until at least Monday, which you'll see doesn't happen, because we were waiting on supplies, and they weren't going to work till Sunday, they weren't going to work on Sunday anyways. So you have to excuse me throughout this. I have a really dry throat today. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's dry throat day, I guess. So Sunday, I just kicked it in quartzsite. I needed to do laundry, but I was going to wait till Monday to do that or Tuesday? I don't remember. Because I didn't want to go on Sunday. I figured it'd be super busy. So I just kind of kicked it. I went to a restaurant. I forget the name of it. It was really good food. I should have had that information before I started this. I'll find it and talk about it. And then I went to a couple of their stores and Family Dollar, and just got some stuff done. Like you'll see, I do cut some salad stuff because I was eating pretty bad and I needed some healthy food. I mean, I've gotten my body very sensitive to things. If I don't eat salads, I feel it after a few days. And plus, I was running around, I was busy. My body wasn't used to that. I'm not a very busy person. I mean, I don't know. I try to stay busy, but you know, when you're stuck at home because your car isn't working like it is right now. Yes, my car is overheating, and I've already fixed one thing, and now I got to fix like 2 or 3 different things on my van. So I've been stuck at home. Not fun. Stuck in this room, 4 walls, basically all the time, except for when I'm able to run to the store. It does run enough to where I can run to the store, but if I sit in traffic, it overheats. At first it was just the fan, and now it's other parts that, because it kept overheating, got broken. So one problem led to another. Okay, so Sunday night came and passed. Sorry, I got stuck for a second thinking about something. And I woke up Monday, and actually that morning I got really, really low blood sugar wise with my diabetes, and I ended up like on this. I ended up, there's like a main street in Quartzsite, if any of you have been, you know, where at one end you've got a lot of stuff and it's busy, and you have like 2 or 3 gas stations and the freeway and McDonald's and all that. And then at the other end of that main street, there's one gas station and a turn onto the freeway. Well, I ended up leaving the main area where all the gas stations and stuff was, because that's where I spent the night. And I ended up pulled next to the gas station when I woke up, because I passed out behind the wheel. Yes, I did. I mean, it happens. I mean, when you're diabetic, you think you have enough time to go get the food that you were going to get, because I was going to get McDonald's that morning, and nope, I passed out. It's been a long time since that happened to me, and I was really surprised, because it's been years and years since that happened. But I had a lot going on, you know, when I'm doing different stuff that my body's used to, it does crazy things. So I woke up and there was emergency and police around and everything, and they just made sure I was okay. I didn't get a ticket or anything, and I was on my way. So I hung out for a little bit because it was still really early, and I didn't want to get there too early at Quartzsite because nobody would be up yet to work. So I waited a little bit, and then I went like 8 or 9 o'clock or something like that. It turned out there was construction. Yep, construction. Right where I needed to turn to go to Aide. I couldn't believe it. And like, there was no other construction. Like, that was it. And that was the one road they wouldn't let you go down. And I kept coming back throughout the day. I let them know that I couldn't get through, and there was no other back way to come. They did, you know, I asked, and there was no other way to get there. And I think that this little problem with the construction, it caused more problems. I think that a certain somebody didn't know about it and thought that I was just taking my time coming back over there to get stuff done on my van. I'll explain later. It's just, you know, if people don't know, they shouldn't assume things about people. So, I try again on Tuesday. I go there, or I'm sorry. I tried again on Tuesday. I didn't even do anything on Monday. I just stayed in Quartzsite. And then on Tuesday I tried again, and of course there was construction again. I don't know how many days they did it, but it was happening when I was there, of course. And so I just waited till after 5, and I came, and they were finally gone. And so I was able to get over into the area so I'd be there the next day. So at that point, we're talking Wednesday morning before they started the van build, and it was crazy the first night, because the first night I got there, everything was fine. I had to move all of my stuff out of my van, and I figured the best time to do it was at night. It wasn't hot, because it did get kind of warm during the day, and I started moving all my stuff out. And I was told by the people when I first arrived that this person who was going to do work on my van wouldn't mind me staying in her home, her trailer. And she had a really big trailer. I mean, there's plenty of room. So she offered that I could either sleep on the bed, which she had to bring like a ladder out for, and it was really high, and she had to bring it down some from the wall. And so she had to take out bikes from the back of her trailer and put them out onto the, I don't know what to call it, there was like a porch type of thing. And I was putting some of my stuff there and bringing some of my stuff in, the stuff that I needed for my stay. Now I'm thinking I'm going to be staying inside for most part for however long it takes to do the van. So I brought my food, I brought clothes. I mean, my clothes, I think I only brought in one outfit, and I kept the rest of it out. You know, my drinks, just everything I needed to get through the day. And in the end, for me, because I'm a type 1 diabetic and I have to have certain foods, it ended up being too much for this woman. I think that she wasn't expecting that, and it bothered her. Now, me, personally, if I knew somebody had type 1 diabetes and they were getting their van done and they were going to be staying in my place for a while, I wouldn't get upset. I'd be like, okay, just put it whatever you need to do. I mean, that's just how I am. I don't care how much stuff you're going to bring into my house as long as it's too crazy. If that's what you need to get through the few days you're going to be here, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but apparently she did. Now, I had brought some of the food and some of the stuff into the kitchen. I was planning on moving it in the morning. I was just running on empty, and my body hurt so much. That is also something I was living with. I was in total and utter pain. Like, at this point, when I had to move all this stuff by myself, you know, I mean, I didn't expect anybody to help me, but at least understand that I'm in pain. You know, I was taking Advil. I have pain in my hips and my lower back. I'm not in shape. So, I mean, I know that's my fault, but, you know, what can I do? I can't lose weight overnight. And this came when it came. So I had to go and do what I had to do, and I didn't know what was expected of me, because apparently I can never get my makeup right. I keep thinking there's not dark spots, but then I see them. So sorry if my makeup bothers you. It's practically off now. I gotta stop it right now. So that night, after I finally got all my stuff in, it was like 9 o'clock. Now, I didn't know she was gonna go to bed right away. I mean, right away. Like, within 5 minutes of me getting my stuff inside. So, I'm still trying to get situated. And she's telling me, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed now. You need to go out and feed your kitty. And because the cat had to stay in the van, which I really hated. He was out there in the cold, in the dark by himself. I felt so bad for him. But it is what it is. You know, I couldn't bring him in because she had 2 cats. And she was very worried about how they would handle another cat being in the house. I mean, I could have kept him separate because there was a room I was going to maybe stay in, which actually ended up being totally freezing. So there was no way I could have slept in there anyways. But the whole thing with the bed, I'm kind of all over the place because it was so crazy. The thing with the bed didn't work out because when I tried to climb up in it, I was a little worried about the rickety ladder that she had me climb up. I thought, what if I'm getting down in the middle of the night, I'm half asleep or I'm low? I didn't want to worry about falling off the ladder. And so I thanked her kindly for, you know, going through all that. But I just thought it'd be safer for me to not sleep on the bed. It was just too high. I practically had vertigo. So I ended up, you know, going out to feed my cat. Well, when she told me I had to do this, I didn't know she was going to bed right then. She hadn't told me that yet. Or maybe she did. I don't know. It was kind of chaos. And I just wasn't thinking, you know. I thought, well, I usually don't feed my cat till like 11. And I had been told beforehand that no matter what, I'd be able to go out and check on my kitty, feed him when I need to, just, you know, go be with him, spend time with him if I needed to, if I felt like, you know, if it bothered me that he was out in the van. But then there was an issue with her door, and that all coincided, and I didn't realize in the moment until it was too late, and I said it, that, oh, I usually feed him right before I go to bed, which is usually between 10 and 11 o'clock. Now it's 9 o'clock. And she's like, you know, at this point, maybe you should just sleep in the van. Like, practically yelled at me. And got a really bad attitude, got mad at me, just, I was like, whoa. Okay, things are not going okay. And so I was like, no, I'll just go feed him now. And so I went out, I fed him, and came back in. I'm trying to get situated. I'm low. That was another thing. I kept having low blood sugars like the whole time. So that was a nightmare. And so that's all on the first night. And on top of everything else, apparently I had gotten food poisoning from eating out somewhere. And she tells me, after I had mentioned that overnight I had a lot of problems, and I was having low blood sugar, and I think I had food poisoning or whatever, she became immediately alarmed. But even before that, I think she didn't want me in there. And so she told me, you cannot stay in my trailer anymore. You have to move all your stuff out. And that's just how it's going to have to be. Because I don't want to get sick. I can't risk it. My immune system is compromised or whatever. And then on top of it, her cats were bothered or something. And I'm like, you know, these are just excuses. You just don't want me in your house. And so, even though I needed like a day to rest, like I just needed to rest, I'm almost tearing up thinking about how much pain I was in. I had to move everything out of her house that I brought in, mostly just food and that kind of stuff, toiletries, that kind of stuff. But it was quite a lot, and it was horrible. It was this was the worst experience I think I've ever had dealing with another person who was doing something for me. You know, it was almost like because they were doing something for me, her and this mechanic girl I'll tell you about felt like they could say and do anything they wanted to me. It was pretty, I mean, I was afraid that if I went off by myself with the mechanic girl, that she might set me up and my van might get stolen from or something. Like, she invited me somewhere at some point later on after a couple of weird interactions, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go anywhere with you. So, yeah, it was strange. So, I think there's some drug use going on with some people around there. I mean, obviously that happens in Quartzsite, but I mean, people involved with the van Aide, I think. Either that, or it's exactly what this lady told me who was working on my van, that the mechanic girl was a narcissist. Let me refocus. Kind of all over the place. So I moved everything. I hung out, but I was no longer really allowed in her trailer except to maybe get something to eat or whatever, like if I needed to do something in there. She wouldn't even let me use her restroom anymore. And I was having food sickness. And my toilet situation, I mean, it's a bit embarrassing, but I'm not skinny. I can't reach. I have short arms. I can't reach. I got a big butt. So number 2 isn't doable in my little potty that I have. But it ended up having to be. So, yeah. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this, but Yeah, that was not okay. And you know, it all becomes a blur at this point. It's kind of hard to keep it all straight what happened. But basically at this point, I felt very uncomfortable, but the van bill was already started. We're talking, you know, the next day and beyond. And in the end, I'm glad I got the van bill, but I probably would never go through that experience ever again in order to get it. Yes, it was free, but believe me, I paid the price. Because what happened at the very end of all this, I just couldn't believe happened. So I'm sitting there the next day, the last day or whatever. Actually, it was 2 or 3 days I was there. And I had to, like, leave and come back because I had to go sleep at the gas stations because I still was having sickness. And I couldn't keep being in that situation without a toilet. So at the end of the day, I would go and stay at the gas station and come back. And I still had to come early because of the construction going on. So I came back every day. It was 2 or 3 days. And then on the final day, there was one night where everything was cool. I mean, I thought we were doing okay. And that was, I think, the night before I left. We saw a Starlink, or not Starlink, but, you know, you'll see it. I took a video of it and a photo. And everything was cool. I mean, there wasn't really any problems after that initial problem. Comes the day when I'm leaving. So I've been through all of this, and at this point I was emotionally, physically, and mentally drained. There were a couple times when the lady who was helping me, now she had another woman helping her, and that other woman, her name was Lori, she was fine. She was great. She's the one working on the van in the video, although can't really see her. She actually said something after I stopped recording, so I would have liked it to have been in there. She just goes, Van Aide 2025, so I copied what I said, so. But anyways, she was awesome. So there's a couple times when this lady kind of snapped at me. And come to find out, she explained to me later on, you know, at some point she explained to me that she was like OCD, and on the autism spectrum and things like that. So, I mean, I have some understanding with that stuff, but I still feel like you don't have it's not right to treat people badly. Even if, like, you may not like them, it's not okay to treat them badly just because you don't like them when they didn't do anything. I mean, honestly, I didn't do anything. I really sat back afterwards and looked at myself and said, well, did I say or do anything that was rude or unkind? And no, I was totally polite the whole time. But in the end, what happened was, I'm sitting there, they're finishing up, and this mechanic girl that I met earlier, who had tried to work on my car, which I appreciated, she couldn't fix the problem in my car, which was fine. But she had tried to get me a couple times to come over into her area because there was another mechanic that was going to come over and look at my car, my van. But that had kind of gotten thrown to the wayside between all the mishaps with the construction and me having to stay in quartzsite instead of being there. And there was no communication between me and her and the other person, the lady working on my van. And in the end, she basically looked at me as if I was running around and I wasn't, doing what she needed me to do. And like I said, I had been told beforehand that she was a narcissist, and in the end, I think that's probably true. Very helpful, they always are, but then they want to be able to treat you like crap. I've been through that with a man, so I know what to look out for. When I first met her, I could tell that she had something wrong with her, mentally. So I don't think that's the narcissism, because that's a different disorder, but like mentally she's not quite all there, which is fine. I don't have a problem with you as long as you treat me with respect. And that's what happened. We're here at Van Aide, getting the van together with the help of these wonderful women. It's happening, people. I'm so happy. I'm grateful. Van Aide 2025. I think this will be the last clip. Yeah, so she came over and, goes over and talks to this lady. I forget her name. I'll just call her Debbie. I don't know her name. And then she comes over to my van, the mechanic girl. And she's like, and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? I was really nice to her. And she's like, so I was just talking to Debbie over there, and she told me that, well, you're kind of difficult to deal with. I'm like, what? Okay. I have been in a difficult situation where I was having physical problems. I was having a lot of pain, and I have problems with my hands. I have problems with my diabetes. I mean, I'm not built like you guys. I'm not like all tough out in the desert, and that's where I live. That's not where Debbie lived, but I mean, I was like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say. And she's like, well, you came late, first of all. And I'm like, okay, well, I was waiting on money. I couldn't get here any sooner. I came as soon as I got the money. And I didn't know we had to be there at a certain day anyways. There's not a lot of information on Van Aide. If they want you there on the first day, I feel like they should say that. It should be there on the thing, or something, unless it is. I don't know. All I know is I got there when I could get there. And she didn't seem to care that I said that. It's like she didn't believe me or something. Like I was just using it as an excuse. No, I literally could not get there any sooner. And then she continues to tell me how horrible a person I am. And basically saying that I wasn't grateful. And I told her, don't take any mistakes that may have happened or not happened as me being ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful. But I did have a hard time here. It was hard on me. I had a bunch of problems. I also had, I got food poisoning. So I was having that issue. And, she had to oh, well, I understand about the food poisoning. Well, did you understand that I was in physical pain the whole time I was doing this? Did you understand that I was having low episodes practically all day long doing this? That I had to move all my stuff twice. And up on the trailer and almost fell off. I mean, she came over there judging me really harshly. And I thought it was totally ridiculous. And I will never go back to Van Aide. I will never be treated like that again by anyone in the van life community. I mean, if you're going to help people, don't make them feel like crap because they can't cut it like you do. I don't know what their problem was. I don't know what I did. I mean, I tried my best to be out of the way. Oh, and that's another thing. Debbie, or whatever her name is, she stated that I was talking too much. She was the one that came over to me and, asked me a question or something and then started talking about how she knew Elvis when she was younger because the song came on the radio. I mean, I think that hers was worse because she was on that spectrum and she didn't understand, how to... I don't know. Even thinking about me exasperates me. It was, like I said, it was one of the most horrible experiences of my life, if not the worst. So basically I spent a week and a few days in the desert being tortured. And then being told how horrible I am. So, thanks for the build, but I was treated awful. And just, I think they looked at me in the most negative way possible because they didn't like me. And you know what? I've had that all my life with people. People don't like me for some reason. I don't know why. I'm very nice to people. Sometimes I'm a bit brash myself, and I know that. I'm very self-aware. I've been told over the years, oh, you just rubbed me the wrong way or whatever. I'm like, I don't know why. I mean, before I was really depressed, but I'm not anymore. I try to be positive and nice and friendly, and I don't know. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.